Hey guys, how you doing? We are at Gangnam Studio where the GSTL championships are going on. I don't know if you can hear us, it's very loud over here.
It's basically a competition for StarCraft and it's surreal. As you can see, there's a ton of people here. The media's here, this whole thing is broadcast live. Mom, Dad, you should have let me play video games.
Mohammed, I don't know about you, but I don't get it at all. They ask you a question. Did you understand anything? He's trying to avoid the question, guys. You didn't get it, did you?
I did understand it.
No, you didn't. Unless your Korean got good in the last few days.
Games are my jam.
I never thought I would go to South Korea. In the past, whenever I thought about travel, Seoul never came to mind. In truth, I didn't know much about it.
From an outside perspective, it is hard to understand the country and its culture. It is often overlooked by many as a place to travel in favor of Japan and China.
One of the only things I was familiar with was that South Korea is among the largest economies in the world. As a republic, it is less than 70 years old, and yet it is home to some of the world's largest companies, Samsung, Hyundai, and LG.
Korea also boasts some of the world's fastest internet connections, and we discovered that its population has one of the highest penetrations of social media usage. The entire culture has gone online.
Given that social media use was so prevalent there, South Korea provided a unique opportunity to put social travel in action and explore a place we know so little about.
We're in Seoul, looking to better acquaint ourselves with the Korean culture through interactions with the city's artisans and entrepreneurs.
Itaewon is basically like the headquarters of the expat community in Korea. And if you look around this alleyway here, this is what they call the Hamilton Hotel alleyway. Some Koreans call it 먹자 골목, which means, let's eat street, because of all the, restaurants. And you look around, you're gonna see Brazilian restaurant, you're gonna see Thai restaurant, French restaurant, Spanish restaurant, Bulgarian restaurant.
There's nothing but restaurants over here.
Yeah, it's all, it's great. It's
but
a great hodgepodge.
Why the mix? What's going on?
Korea, developments come very, very quickly. Construction comes very quickly.
We can relate.
Yeah, exactly. So if you look at here, this alley, actually this right here, this street didn't exist about 15, 16 months ago. So what they did was the district office came in and they cut and bulldozed down, and they basically made this just an alleyway. So it used to, be careful. Whoa. Korean drivers are kind of crazy too.
It almost became a one-man show. I should have pushed it in there.
We almost lost him.
You love your brother. You don't want to do that to him.
Not really. He doesn't really like me that much.
What brought your restaurant here? What is it called?
Well, my restaurant is Vatos Urban
Tacos.
Yeah. And we do Mexican food and Korean Mexican fusion, right? And the reason why we decided to put our restaurant in Itaewon, the expat community. Tacos are not very popular in Korea.
But Korean tacos are super popular in the States.
That's exactly the reason why we said, why wouldn't it work in Korea?
So what happened when you actually opened?
There was a line for 3 hours.
So where are you taking us now?
Well, we're going to the original Vatos location.
How does it feel like to be in the old Vatos? Because you guys have moved since then, right?
Right. Every time I come into this building, and my partner Kenny, we get a little teary-eyed. It's definitely a space where we put our sweat and blood into. Your restaurant is about this size, right?
Yeah. Our original one? Yeah, absolutely.
This is where you said 3,000 people? 3,000, is that what you said?
No.
How many people were like waiting in line
3
to...
hours.
Oh, 3 hours.
Oh, 3 hours,
Yeah,
I'm sorry,
yeah.
3 hours.
People were waiting in that line, 3 hours.
Close, Paymon. 3,000, 3 hours.
I got the 3 right.
But I mean, you know, inside the capacity was 24 people if they sat like, you know, like this, like, and we basically were like, you know,
That is limited taco space,
yeah, they were
man.
packed in like sardines, but people
You mean
like
packed
that.
in like enchiladas?
Oh yes, packed in like enchiladas. That's right. If you go to the new Vatos now, we wanted to take over a lot of the characteristics. So if this is a Vatos in his teenage years, the new Vatos is the Vatos as an adult.
Hey, can I start eating, guys?
Oh,
Yeah,
go ahead.
go, dig in.
Actually, you can all start eating.
What's this?
That's our chicken quesadilla. We have the kind of spicy Korean style marinade and for the chicken on the inside. What we do with our quesadilla to kind of separate it from other quesadillas, we kind of do a cheese crust on the top, so it's
Nice.
more like a pizza.
Can't go wrong with cheese.
And then you can't leave out the burritos at the end. And one thing that's special about our food, our tacos especially, these tortillas, we make them fresh every morning.
Keeping it real.
Yeah, I think we produce what, like 1,200 tortillas a day or something like
That's
that.
awesome.
One other thing that is really interesting about this story is Kenny had this idea, this vision for this restaurant, and to get it off the ground, he used a social venture website called Kickstarter.
Oh, sure,
And he put his
yeah.
story
Oh,
up
yeah.
there, and Juan, I believe, you saw the story there, and they got in touch through a mutual friend, and they decided to partner up, and then they brought me in too. So
Why'd you come back here, by the way? What?
Why? Well, I never really came back. I came once and I stayed.
First of all, the business environment to start a business, a lot easier in Korea than the States. A lot less bureaucratic red tape to get through.
That's very interesting.
Secondly, in Korea, it's a very Confucianism-based society where they want to move as a group. But we grew up in the States, so we grew up on a school system and a culture to think a little bit more individually than what the Koreans are used to.
But guys, I mean, this passion, you translated it in a very cool way on social media.
So Kenny's Kickstarter video started it. His friends and family, you know, put it on their Facebook, put it on their Twitter, you know, donated it in. And so they became a part owner of this restaurant somehow.
It's so important.
When they walk into this restaurant, it's not only a place where they're just patrons. It's a place where they feel at home.
Look, I mean, we could totally relate because, in a sense, with social travel, you know, we're highly dependent on our followers. If I can make an analogy, the difference between tourism and social travel is the difference between like a fast food mass market restaurant and Vatos. You know, you guys are more personal, you guys are more relevant, you know, and you guys invite people to get involved into your business. You guys are second generation Koreans?
Korean Americans, yeah.
Korean Americans?
That's actually like where we got our brand name from. It's called Issei, which directly translates to second generation. So that kind of applies with like our whole concept for the brand, which is we take Korean inspirations from the design and we kind of apply it to more like modern silhouettes and styles. So we kind of marry the old and the new.
Why did you guys decide to go down the route of organic hand-dye?
Like first, like it's the colors and the textures.
Yeah,
like
aesthetically, it was important.
like when you have like a it's like 20 yards of fabric, the overall color is the same, but every part of the fabric is completely different.
Like a fingerprint.
Yeah,
exactly.
pretty much.
So even like our bags, the silhouette's the same, you know, but everyone's bag is like pretty unique.
And then we just thought like maybe we can apply this organic dye method to these old school bags, but put like a modern twist on it to make it, you know, more applicable to us.
Like an old,
Cooler.
and, like an old and new.
Yeah, old and
exactly.
And how did Mrs. Lee come into the picture?
As the bag brand started to develop over like the year, we were looking for more dyers and more information, really. And we luckily found her I guess she had to add up for her dyeing lessons and all that.
Class.
Yeah, so we had a friend contact her, and we came and visited her in the spot, and then she's kind of been teaching us more of like the art aspect of organic dyeing. Aesthetically, it was beautiful.
쪽은 이게 발효를 시켜야 되거든.
네.
근데 그 이유는 쪽이 불용성 색소야.
네.
청색 인디고가.
네.
그래서 이거를 수용성.
She's talking about the ingredients that go into the coloring. So we're doing like a blue color today, or indigo. So what goes in here is the indigo plant, starch syrup, which is derived from rice, and then what's the first one? Oh, lime. Lime goes in there too.
사 먹는 거랑 내가 집에서 고추장, 된장 발효시켜서 요리해 먹는 거랑 몸에
So
어디가
basically she's saying,
okay?
number one, there's a lot of fakes out there that say it's organic dye,
hand
but
changing.
it's not organic
Okay?
dye. And another thing is like she compared it to food, where it's like, you know, you go to a restaurant, you can eat, but then when you make something at home, like a home cooked meal, it's like healthier for you, it's better for you, it's more natural.
You know where it comes from?
Yeah, so that's what she compared like organic dyeing to like food.
이게 내추럴 컬러가 환경에 좋고 몸에 사람한테 좋고 이제.
So basically she was saying like the first reason it's like it's good for the environment.
Okay.
That's what she really cares about.
Because these are organic
It's all
dyes.
natural
Okay.
dyes.
자, 체인지, 손 체인지.
And the second reason is she's
Ooh.
saying that it's healthy for like the person to like partake in this kind of activity.
It's healthy?
Yeah, and saying like she's saying it like it calms you down from all the craziness,
I
like
see.
kind of like maybe therapeutic
Yeah.
in a way.
더 조금 더 깊게, deep.
Yeah, and she was just saying she just thinks it's beautiful.
Yeah.
And she wants to like teach people how to do it.
Can you ask her which one's better, mine or
선생님
or
어떤 거더
his?
잘 나왔어요?
이게 더 잘 나와요.
Now the second step is we have to go outside and dry it a little bit,
Okay.
and then wash out the dye with water.
Into the light.
So like we're going to talk about StarCraft, obviously. And so where did it all start? What was your first memory of StarCraft?
When I was a kid, and this is like totally honest, I was in my middle school class.
This is in the States.
In the States, in the United States. So my Korean friends were writing on a piece of paper, like all these maps and these diagrams. And I was like, what are you guys talking about? And they told me, this is StarCraft, this is a game. I was like, oh, I know StarCraft, I already finished it. And they're like, no, we play against each other, against people online. So you can play online? So they bring me a copy of the game, like, this StarCraft on it. I take it home and they're like, meet me on BattleNet. And I had to figure out how like the internet worked for gaming.
I tell you, Mohammed, don't tell him too much about this game. He's one of those guys that'll get addicted so fast, he can't do anything else.
I'm already hooked, in theory.
What was it like for you?
So on the weeknights, when I had to go to school the next day, for example, I didn't play as much because I knew I had to study. I was a pretty good student, but on the weekends, that's when I would stay up till like 5 a.m. And the next day, I would sleep until 4 p.m. and get up and play the game again because I just loved doing it so much. And I would get together with my friends.
And these were people you knew and people you didn't know as well?
Right. The thing is, when you play this game, you meet people online, you can chat with them. And you find practice partners, someone who's a similar skill level to you. Hey, do you want to play a few practice games? Or you can even join up with that person and play with that person as a teammate against 2 other players. There's a lot of different variety in the game.
What are you doing in Korea?
So I'm in Korea as a broadcaster. I took this game that I've described to you guys and I watched it a lot, I played it a lot. I've been told I've described it well, so I became a commentator in my own house back in Atlanta. Basically, I just made my own tournament, ran the tournament by myself, and commentated the tournament from my apartment.
That's amazing.
I reached out, started commentating, started making these tournaments, and eventually other tournament series reached out to me and said, I'd like you to broadcast and commentate this. And I said, yeah. I kept doing this over and over again, and eventually I applied for a job in Korea because the most prestigious league in the world at the time, called the GSL, was looking for commentators, and I gave them my resume. They saw how many broadcasts I'd done, individually at my house and at some other live events in the United States, and they were like, we want this guy. And they brought me out here, and when I came out here, I wasn't even sure if I was going to stay.
And that was how long ago?
This was about a year and 9 months ago.
This game originates in the US, obviously, right?
Yeah, it's a US-made game.
How is it so big in Korea? Because you said the biggest league, or one of the biggest leagues in Korea?
Yeah, Korean players are the best players in the world.
The world?
In the world, by far. If you look at Korean players and foreigners, the bar is like set insanely high. Korean players practice this game 12 to 14 hours a day in a team environment where they live with, for example, 12 other players in the same house. They have basically bunk beds stacked up.
And this sounds like a reality show waiting to happen, by the way.
So this is a job. These guys are like professional players.
Absolutely. These guys live and breathe the game. They wake up at 8 a.m. and they start practicing. They eat breakfast, they practice for a few hours, they eat lunch, they go out for a jog maybe, they come back to the team house. It's very structured, the practice.
They're e-athletes, basically.
Yes.
I can't believe that it's so disciplined and so structured.
It's very structured. It's like traditional sports, but it's on a computer. You live in a house, you practice in the house. You don't go to a track, you don't go to a field to practice, you just log in on your computer with your teammates, all together, sitting next to each other, and you play against each other.
So my question is, are nerds the new jocks?
I think this would like freak a lot of people out to see like live fish like this.
Yeah, it's a little weird to see at first. Like they bang the head, they get this huge spike, they stab it right through the head, and then they got the live octopus.
No, I see something over here.
You've heard about it,
Live
right?
octopus? Yeah, I eat it every day.
Oh my god, that's a big one. Can you ask it?
Wait,
do the
you said they're
octopus
gonna
have any feelings?
So you just get like a whole plate full of like chopped up live squirming octopus, and then
Sweet. The more you touch it, the more it squirms.
Yeah,
So.
the tentacles like stick to like your tongue, like the inside of your mouth.
Don't wake him up, man.
He just the biggest one.
The biggest.
I've never tried the head though. I've only tried the tentacles, so like whoever wants to do that.
Well, then you could have the head this
I
time.
don't know about that.
네, 그거 주세요. 네.
That little one was pretty good. Yeah, that one looks calm.
She's hooking it up.
Yeah.
She gave us
The price of one.
1 + 1 free.
Yeah.
She saw how hungry you were, Pete. One for you, one for the three of us. 네. 감사합니다. Wow, you guys ready for?
Thank you. Oh, here? Oh, now?
Here? So if you start poking at it, it'll just start squirming like
Why
crazy.
would I want to do that?
Who's the first one?
Muhammad, you should take this gnarly piece right here.
Wow. Try that, Pete. I think I might choke on that one.
No.
Oh my god.
This guy's getting wet.
These guys are, look at this.
That's yours.
They're strong. No, I can't do that. This is the first thing I'm eating today, so.
Is it?
Yeah, this is my breakfast.
One shot?
Wow, very brave of you.
That's good. That was a big piece.
Yeah, it's hard to.
It's hard to swallow.
Yeah, it's really chewy.
I feel like I'm killing it with my teeth. I feel like. Take your time, man. Take your time.
It's so chewy, and the suction cups are still working all the way.
Yeah.
It's sticking to like the roof of your mouth, like your teeth, your tongue.
Down my throat. It's like holding on for dear life.
Seriously.
I don't want to go down Muhammad's throat.
Now that we have finally experienced Korea, I can't believe more people don't know about the amazing things people are doing here. Seoul has definitively put itself on my must-travel list.
For years, Koreans have immigrated out of Korea for better opportunities in different countries, but now it seems everything is being reversed. Koreans who have lived outside for generations are now seeing opportunities back home.
Most of these overseas Koreans come back for business opportunities in the booming economy. They bring back with them ideas, experiences, and a mindset that is critical to this stage of Korea's development.
Korea was the first country we went to where we had to deal with a significant language barrier. English is not widely spoken. It is easy for foreigners to hide behind this, a self-contained bubble limiting interactions with locals.
Our first night in Korea, we used Google Translate to order sea snails, dried squid, and kimchi. Our waiter was amused by our adventurous spirit and became more attentive to us. Not because we were just eating sea snails, we were willingly participating in his culture.
Rewarding relationships is an important aspect of Korean society. Korea always wants to give you more as a form of appreciation and gratitude, thanking you for your emotional investment. They love to connect.